You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench, your feet. The twiddling barely keeps your hands warm. There's a trap in the reeds The reeds bend. The constant, distant locusts are crawling around in the reeds bend forlornly. The constant, distant song.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? This calls for a funeral, if you ask me. Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all? Why odd? Our things are...
Life world. Someone's been reading up on Lost.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. And take it from someone who's been through a few funerals.
It's going to be quite a few years before nature is able to completely take care of a motor carriage.
I understand, believe me. I really do. But daydreaming is a rich man's game. At sea, you can't afford to be careless and dream. Anyway, what are we talking about here again?
Hello again.
Yes, what is it?
An old door, worn by the concrete for servicing. A familiar apparatus, the reeds sway in the coastal breeze. The wind picks up here. This trap is also full of the reeds. The wind picks up. A cold sea breeze stings your face as you step on the boardwalk. The body is gone, but something still, a luminous wheel of pleasure, and all things bright. It's the little wooden gondolas dangle in the wind, their seats empty and floors littered with old ice cream paper. The pleasure wheel stands still on the boardwalk. There's a ticket office made out of an old gondola. Its wooden frame, the same shade of red as the ones above. A sign mounted on its side declares, "There are hustlers." The pleasure wheel stands still on up and down, up and down. All something sad and small wakes up in you. Decay and death. There's the bench where you found the man. Even the pleasure wheel is rotting from inside. Do you think that's what happened to the man you found? Do you think he wanted? The pleasure wheel stands still on the... Some waves come crash. There's some tear. 2 empty bottles. Whoever, Red Astra. You see, it's no older than... This is the reed. The later it gets, nothing but locusts in the reed. The later it... Nothing has changed. takes you behind you, behind you. The trap, no phasmid either. But still, your voice echoes on nothing. The reeds continued behind you.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Start with a little compliment.
Oh, okay. An investment? What kind of investment? Fair point. You can't have a successful business. 10 real is a bargain for that kind of investment.
Now it's turning into a... Nope, some of the other...
Yup.
You could also check the kiosk down. It's like, whatever, anything else. Us lorry drive, not my thing.
What's better than chasing trends? The trash container. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to... it's not...
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
People who...
Race is a simplistic means of social classification based on easily observed...
So, lately, the problem...
Cultural victory? What is this then?
It's what the keeps of boogies. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen? Don't push...
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on... We were promised work.
The physically impressive.
What's it to you? Am I...
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick to... Worked at...
Pretty okay as far as...
We're done.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? The mercenary, eh? That's so. I haven't heard anything about that. I ain't the murdering type.
He believed.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search.
This is the night watch. Old East Delta commerce. You hear the same waiting room music, but no one picks up the receiver anymore. Silence. No one answers you. All you hear is static, but no one answers the call. Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. A few bricks have fallen off. Inside, a secret. It means this is a good find. Really justifies. Your flashlight, some of the writing has...
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a dye? I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. We're inside, but when I arrived here, all the other rooms.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master. A thick layer of coal dust. It's dark and grimy here. Maybe you're just hungover. It's dark and grimy. Maybe it's dark and grimy here. In the darkness. It's dark and grimy here. Maybe you're just hungover again. Well, hello. Someone seems to have found himself a bottle of alcohol. What a solid... Wow. There's a satisfying pop as the cap of golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy gleam.
In the bottom right.
From the void we...
Hey,
Well, well. Bringing him that new bird.
you're already set for the night.
It's great to see you again, officer.
Boy, am I ever so grateful.
There's no way to listen to the tape without a working tape player or a pawn shop. A pawn shop would have a tape player.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with some...
What? This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh, God.
Sure, man.
Typical street lights like this one. The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and you're...
And here you are.
The porter reel is just what you press the large button marked Commencer. It sounds like someone's mood telling you about the time. Within seconds you know this is a click, then silence for a bit. Of course you could sing this. Yup, they're all here. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. Got immediately.
Hey, was there something... No, you don't. It's not happening.
You need to approach this situation logically. Ask him why he has the PA system installed if you can't use it.
It's for the... It's for no one. It's a prop. I'm not letting anyone use it after the great karaoke catastrophe of a lot of people got killed because some art... Okay, yes, it's for some clients. Ha! Well, we don't have any tapes. They all...
He's lying, but whatever. The man in the vest and the violet shirt.
Fine, fine. Climb on that stage and do your...
The stage is all set up for your performance. You feel a little dizzy, a little unsteady.
So, are you ready for your thing now?
The air is thick with someone dims the lights as the music starts. Okay, here we go.
I would often go there, to the tiny church there. The smallest church in Saint-Saëns. Though it once was larger, how the realm may rest there. Down through the mist there. Toward the Seven Sisters. Toward those pale cliffs there. I would often stay there. In that tiny yard there. I have been so glad here. Looking forward to the past here. But now, you are all alone. None of this matters. No, none of this matters at all.
A lazy applause fills the room. You feel your hands shake as awareness of your body returns to you.
Good, good. Are we ready? I want to unplug the microphone now.
Last words?
Boy,
Ah, smallest church in Saint-Saëns, right? Cool. Now, what can I do for you?
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mexican origin.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels... You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably... There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about it.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too. No, it's the cryptid. Oh, yes. The eight-eyed Teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters.
Mutation? Huh. All of evolution is a mutation.
Until it was sighted by renowned Gottwaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm. The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert. An ancient riverbed completely dried up. Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird, it seemed. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon.
Eat the bird, Uwe. It's the only way to survive.
Yes, or rather, hunting. A bird that big has a lot of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist. Then the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on the bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uwe spent 3 days trying. The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. Absolute.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
Sadly, yes, but there are new...
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoo.
Very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Mirage, or no one knows for sure. The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad. That's what makes it so peculiar. A species survived. There are limits.
Gravity anomaly.
Cryobacter catlensis. Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou. Some 7 bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had... Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea. Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her... We can assume that she has been living the gnome of Jeroma. Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic. It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die. Alas, no. And the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde. Think instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happened. What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, the call de mama d'aqua, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible.
Call de mama d'aqua can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory. It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be...
Maybe it's predatory.
It's not. Don't worry. If it were predatory, we would have found it by the damage it inflicts.
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the damage is also...
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with... They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound.
Psst. They cancel each other out. Psst.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right... After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. What about what? Of course, dear. Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman.
Ramblings. Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But, darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
Measuring things is important. How did...
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven...
Well, it was summer. I was building a... I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs.
Betancourt got bombed in the war. It used to be quite near, so...
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me. I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then...
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Our first, yes.
The glance is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express, even to him. Interesting.
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then.
What if it is the case?
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate... Of course, dear. Is there a particular... Of course, dear.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. Man, I don't want to talk. Most of the Sealites may be shifty, but the ones...
I've got nothing to say to you.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Was that? Could it be the Col de Mama d'Aqua? No, it's probably just your imagination. There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was... Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including... There it is again. It must be very close. What are you doing? Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species...
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. The fuck do you want with it? It's a vitamin pig? Yeah?
Oh, don't teach!
You're not getting...
Fuck you, pig! Don't do mad!
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk. Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck... Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
It's always Kuno. Kuno. Primal. Violent.
Yeah? Kuno's in a fucking gang. In a bang gang.
Watch out, Kuno! Help! Pig's got Kuno!
Help! He's got the Kuno, help! Help! He's digging his dick out!
Escalate, Kuno!
Pigs in here, Kuno! Somebody...
How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out. Just appeal to his reason. Thump. The blow connects surprisingly well, leaving your knuckles tingling. Kuno feels it. This was no light tap.
What?
Van Tachten! You killed Kuno!
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. You're dreaming, pig. That's not...
A little. But don't expect anything to...
Don't let him dominate you, Kuno! Fuck his fat ass!
Kuno doesn't fucking...
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything. Because Frick has an army. I don't know. It stops people from Okay. What?
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottle. The tear machine stands. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says,
The sand has only worth racists.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing...
Babe, thanks. But
The drawings are precise.
These are... Yes.
Your silence betrays.
It's still gone. A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. The man in the photo looks at, in case you see a photo, a name, the man, but the 8. What do you think? It looks like the lack of the badge in your hand shine. This document confirms it. That's what it says on the badge. You should look at the badge in your hand. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 4. The badge was issued. A new document is given to you. The numbers show the badge in your hand shine. It's just a racist mug, but the worn map, your finger finally.
For more detail.
Your finger finally.
For more detail.
An intricate, it's still gone. Crinkled, you feel compelled to point out, you carefully. The face of King Frieza. You take the legal documents. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable. It's still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. It's not easy, but your bones are so tired from what feel like weeks of work on the case. You have to try. After what feels like hours, you feel you might be sleeping.
Thoughts, baby. A million.
Recorded in you. Forever. On Faraday.
No. On and
Behold.
It's the world, Harry boy. You can never forget this shit.
All stuck on loop. Whirling. Spitting.
You're the son of the world again.
Reading your awful letters and record.
You'll go insane if you keep going.
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. Trying to become some sort of... There he goes again. He's a real political animal, our Harry.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Cosolila. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours.
Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together. Solve the world. One conversation at... Rise and shine, comrade. It's time to get to work. Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built. It's too great a task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized. You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out how much communism they've built. Then, together, maybe you'll be able to build as much as 0. But it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise underground. Just between us, you may want to lay off this grind up the bourgeoisie stuff. It's a bit off-putting, even to fellow communists. Let your nose guide you, detective. No, we meant your nose, as in that swollen muck detector in the center of your face. First, you'll have, judging from the bust of Krasmazov and other revolutionary paraphernalia you discovered, it seems that the Cape Side apartments may... Here we go. Wake, brave work.
Yes?
Always a pleasure. I mean, officer.
He tries to play it cool. Remain professorial.
Hell no. I had no idea.
Thanks.
Good to see you again, officer. To what do I owe the pleasure? Good. Okay. And? Completely empty?
No locusts?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning.
Of course, more clever.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the Locust and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps.
Another trip to the reeds.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to... Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been...
Damn it, Lieutenant. Have you no intellectual curiosity? You have your suspicions, but nothing you can form into a viable explanation.
A different cryptid?
Oh, sweetie. Maybe you should stick to human detective work.
Well, first of very little, not yet. I know
it's clear.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly. Yes, it's the first credible sighting in Yes, it's the first. I have to resist.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for...
Yes, Insulindian phasmid is a...
Wait, no. Something about this bunch doesn't smell right. They are, but they don't seem too keen to talk. No, they don't. Glenn seems to be contemplating grievous bodily harm while he massages his raw knuckles. In the far back, Eugene is doing his best to ignore you. And from his perch at the end of the table, Titus Hardy himself. Besides, you're pretty sure they consider themselves social democrats. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you... You see, ahead the door doesn't...
I've got nothing to say to you.
Looking for something, Hunt?
There. Do you smell that? Can you not detect that inimitable whiff of dissatisfaction and restlessness? Can you smell it now? No, actually. In fact, you can't smell much. Nonsense. The reek of communism is unmistakable, and it's coming from that railing over the... Yes, now's your chance to...
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? What's that, boy?
Now's your chance. Remember, communists are notoriously skittish, so it's best to insinuate your way in.
Could be coming from one of the jam lorries. Cargo's been sitting out for a while. Don't think I've ever met a Kras personally.
Okay, maybe it's time to abandon.
Have you tried a butcher shop?
Okay, maybe it's time to abandon the subtle approach.
Comunistas, huh? Can't say that's where I thought you were heading with this. Not that I'm criticizing. It's good for a man to take his time and think about the whole socio-political world.
It's certainly been an interesting development to witness.
So you've given up copying and now you're hunting comunistas. Care to say why? Oh, I see. I wish I could help. Unfortunately, I don't know many comunistas. Some are, some aren't. It's a big institution.
All right, so if he isn't personally a communist, he's definitely hanging out with them.
Ah, but you know, I did meet a genuine ideologo a few months ago. Perhaps he's your guy. You know, a guy with a theory. It was late one night as I was leaving the arbor. He was waiting on the corner in a bright white jacket. Classic Sarameritian style. He asked me for a light. We shared cigarettes. Then he asked me if I ever thought about getting into...
See? All this political chit-chat is just an excuse to rip tar with strangers. Let's say we just skip right to the good part then.
The same thing I always tell people who try to press some claim on me. I couldn't tell you. Once I declined his offer, we finished our cigarettes and he disappeared back into the night. Just before he melted into the shadow. Remember Dobrava and Abadanais. And then he was gone. I don't know. Guess not everyone remembers. Been wondering about that myself. I have to say though, it sounds like you found yourselves a proper hunt.
The man whispers a jaunty tune.
Things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
Right to work!
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. Nope. Some of the other drivers.
Yup. Nothing wrong with...
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Some pretty... I've heard talk there's a company. They want to keep that...
He doesn't blame them.
Anything else? Us lorry drivers. Not my thing.
What's better than chasing transient...
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal...
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Foul, they usually get shipped to Grodd in the Occident. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely...
The man taps his...
That's one brutal motor carriage.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Skulls. Now there's a strong organizational title.
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is... we're...
Okay then, let's indulge.
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
The question was rhetorical. The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
Besmertine, or the Besmati, the Immortals, are West Riversholian crime syndicates.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around the brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom light's a wretched...
Murder?
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it.
Also, he was hanged. He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean...
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move...
Hey! Stop right there!
Ah, this sounds like epistemology. A field so...
Exactly!
What if it's art?
Maybe it's true. The hanged man is merely a prop in a performance. No reply. The blonde rebel scratches his chin.
Oh yeah, Cindy's a right proper skull.
Yeah! A true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
Oh man, yeah! We're not fucking kids, man!
Be wary of the abyss.
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be. It's a threat.
That's right. You should back off and let silence rule supreme.
This is ridiculous. Boys, do you know why the gang is called Skulls?
Yeah.
They're called Skulls.
Just trust me and follow my lead. No reply. The blonde rebel scratches his chin. The other one shuffles uncomfortably.
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least working.
Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, we are. We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet, because we can be...
But in a non-threatening...
Right on, fuck. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Don't tell him that.
You already said she's a...
Just don't tell her you heard it from Piss and Fuck, alright? I think...
Alright. We have a lead on the...
What about them?
Like I said before...
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket.
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the... You get more fish, because when...
Hate to admit it, but...
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person. The word piss... Also, you've got to... What I mean by...
It seems that... Is it a coincidence that here we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops? Your lack of imagination is baffling, but you do make up for it with... These guys aren't.
Why?
If you don't have to answer...
Yeah.
You didn't say that. The lieutenant looks down at his bomber jacket and shrugs, obviously content with his uniform.
Fine. Fuck it.
It's true. Wow. I did not see that coming.
Fuck that. You're not getting mine.
No, he won't.
The lieutenant is lightly amused by the situation.
I'm absolutely okay with not having one. I don't think this case requires us to go undercover or raise hell. The need will not arise.
Look at this cute... Fuck. I'm sorry, man. I just don't like confrontations, that's all.
You finally made it, haven't you? People point fingers at you and whisper to each other when you... Where did that man get such a cool jacket? You are very... Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone,
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57.
In the cabin, you see a set of...
Vigilance officer? What can this all carry? There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating. I was 22 when I read...
The Ikea.
I won help. You were like... Those days...
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. Sweet, sweet Jenny. Has she died? Renee
died.
Departed. We knew she was...
And then you stole her from me.
Well...
We were just... No point starting this all over again. For this doubt...
We knew she was...
And then you...
It's okay, officer. You might have...
Vigilance officer? What? There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not Reversal Fair of 91. This was the happiest day of... Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia.
His face is motionless, like a marble mask. There it is again. There's a spectral scent, haunt years of turmoil, of hopes. What do you smell? Nothing. Or, at least, nothing. Absolute rubbish. Certainement.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire? I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners. They'll never be skulls, but their hearts are in the right place. Fat chance. But you can still do your part to revitalize the neighborhood.
She throws you a conspiratorial glance.
Have you noticed the quiet? This place is a sepulchre.
She's making a valiant effort to come off as a nihilist.
You got me, pig shit. I don't make for a very good skull. I like animals. But I'm still gonna write some damn good graffiti-o on this wall. What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? Not particularly. Fine. I don't care alright, piggy.
Could that girl have been little Lily?
Could have been her.
There weren't any other small girls in the village.
And what do you know about politics?
The girl erupts in a cackle that seems like it's
Oh, that's very nice. The little piggy wants to make sausages. Out of what? His little piggy friends? So, the little piggy is a big bad Sure, I know someone who'd love to talk that ideological. A right communist who runs a mega cool and very secret. He might. No.
The lieutenant lets slip a sigh that seems to suggest
Oh, fine. I'll help. But
she's got you by the balls, Chief. And a wicked grin extends across.
Oink for me, piggy. Just once. Wow, that was easier than I expected. It's almost like
a cool, damp feeling with the lieutenant, needless to say, is not impressed.
Sounds like you're really serious about meeting Staban. Staban's group meets only at night, in an old room in these apartments here. It just so happens you're in luck. Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m. and you might just find them. Just that he's a real communist. Not like the play acting you've been doing. The rest, you'll have to see for yourself. Hold on. You didn't think it would be that easy? See, Staban's a bit on the paranoid side. He's got all these mega secret passphrases to keep out infiltrators and
Not to interfere in your personal errand, but I wonder whether it might have something to do with that phrase Mañana mentioned overhearing.
The lieutenant nods.
Guess this is what happens when two pigs put their heads together. That's enough. Off with you then.